And welcome to our first basketball show of the year. The Cornhuskers have now finished the slate for the month of November, so we've got a lot to look at in the first show of the season. And congratulations, a 5-3 start with back-to-back wins over ACC teams.
Yeah, really proud of the guys. They continue to go out and play with great effort every night. Defensively, I've been really pleased. Activity levels have been great. We've been doing a good job getting deflections. That's led to some runouts on the other end. And now that we got Derek back in the lineup, he has really slowed things down for us. He's given us that rock in the offensive end that we can really play through, especially when we see those pressure teams.
You've been able to spread your scoring out around too.
Yeah, and that was what we figured this team would be about. It's not going to be the same guy every night. And you just look at the game against Boston College where Casey goes for 23. A lot of that damage was in the first half, hit the back-to-back threes in the second, but then CJ got it going. And, had really balanced attack. Derek was huge in that win against Florida State, getting him back for that. You saw how much we need him. When teams get out and pressure and deny, that's what Florida State does. You have a guy you can throw the ball to and make a play for himself. He can make a play for a teammate. I thought we really did a good job carving him up with some back cuts and that type of thing. And that's what Derek does. He gives us that huge pressure release against those teams that are going to get up underneath us.
We've got 4 games we're going to get to, starting with the season opener with the Maine Black Bears. We're back to check out the action from that game next. Welcome back to the Bank of the West Nebraska basketball show. The Cornhuskers open up the season at home at Pinnacle Bank Arena against the Black Bears of Maine. You decided to insert Juwan Gary into your starting lineup after your exhibition season, and he was alive early.
Yeah, we really wanted to get some more pop in the lineup, and that's what Juwan gives us. And hitting a couple threes early, that was big for us. Took the lid off right away. I think he scored the first 5 points for us. Griesel was phenomenal all night long, and 22 points. Good to see CJ pulling up and hitting shots in transition right there. And I thought Wilhelm had a really good game with 9 points and 7 rebounds and a great slash right there to the basket on Sam's drive. But overall, Casey came off the bench, had a big game for us with 19 points. Denham, just continues to do all the little things for this team as far as getting extra possessions and defending. Great kick out right there. We don't want to try to finish through traffic. That's a great time on an offensive rebound to kick the ball out to one of your shooters. But Sam, just took the ball to the basket time and time again. We did a great job finishing at the rim. They got hot on us. They really did a good job in the second half getting established. And this is a dangerous team that's had some good wins so far in the start of the season. Casey coming off a little screen action there, a little flare to a slip to a handoff to get him going. When he hit shots, we're really trying to run actions, as you see right here. A little roll replace with Casey coming behind as the trail and just try to really confuse the defense, which we did on that possession. Emmanuel just, continues to play great basketball for this team. You see how he picks up full pressure. Good back cut here by Sam, and a nice play by Blaze. I thought Blaze, in Derek's absence, has given us some really good, solid minutes.
You had 3 players in double figures. You out-rebound the Black Bears, and that's been a theme all throughout your first month.
Yeah, obviously that was a huge thing from last year. We were one of the poorest rebounding teams in the country a year ago. So, both ends were just built different. You see Juwan right here. That's what he did. That was one of the things that we were really excited about. Coming from Alabama, he was one of the leading, when you look at analytics, offensive rebounders in the country a year ago. So, the huge play right here, one of the biggest plays of the game, I thought, when Maine had a chance in transition to cut it, and then Emmanuel got the bucket on the other end. Great cut by Casey. He's done a great job reading actions. They're going to chase him on pretty much every play, so a good back cut to loosen up the defense. And then again, Sam with a big 3-point play here to really extend our lead and get it back to double digits.
22 for Sam in the game. You win it by 13, 79-66 over the Maine Black Bears, and a good way to start. And you had to kind of take a punch in this game, and your guys responded to that really well.
That was, it's going to be the biggest thing for this team is how are we going to handle adversity. And that first game, it smacked us right in the mouth. And, it happened at Colorado, and I thought we handled it there as well and, stayed close. But again, without Derek, I was really pleased with how we went out there and competed as a group and really made it a total team effort.
1-0 after that game. We're going to skip ahead for a couple of weeks to another home game against Arkansas Pine Bluff. We'll check out the action of that next. We are back on the Bank of the West Husker basketball show. Nebraska, after a trip in the Gavitt games to play St. John's, you come back home to play a dangerous Golden Lions team from Pine Bluff.
Very dangerous. They had in their first game of the year TCU down 19 at home on the road and had a shot to win it. They had a shot right at the buzzer and ended up losing that game by 1. And it was a 2-point game at Oklahoma with under a couple minutes to play. So we knew this was going to be a very difficult game. It was our last game in their road trip, which is always tough because they know they get to go home after that game. And they came out hot. They had 8 threes on us in the first half, had a lead, but we really took control of this game in the second half. You see Juwan again have a big impact on this game early. Really loved his attack. He attacked the basket very well. Good solid take by CJ, another guy that teams are really hugging out on the perimeter. And after not a great shooting night for CJ in the opener, he came back in this next home game, and I think 3 for 3 from the three-point line and made some big plays for us.
Now a good stretch coming up here from Wilhelm.
Yeah, Wilhelm, again, really good take to the basket. Teams are hugging our shooters right now against pressure. Great roll to the basket, beautiful pass, little wrap around there by CJ to the basket. So Wilhelm, again, with Derek out of the lineup, he's playing probably a little bit out of position at some 5 when we go small. But he's given us some really good minutes here early in the season.
He got into double figures in this game. You're down 3 at the half, but then your defense got cranked up and you found a lot more offense.
Yeah, the second half was phenomenal. I think it was 46-19 is what we ended up scoring. And the formula really that we found that was working was getting Sam Griesel in the post. Great job by Blaze. You see how he's losing himself on the baseline with his heels on the baseline underneath the backboard when his defender goes up to help on the post up. He was really the benefactor of a lot of those dump-offs and a great floor game by Sam.
Blaze had a double-double. This is, up to this point, his best game as a Husker.
Absolutely, yeah. He was terrific and, just very physical. Good to see Casey hit that one. He didn't have a great shooting night, but that was a big one. You see, again, great spacing there. You got CJ in the corner, who they're worried about. Great circle to the front of the rim on the baseline drive by Sam. And, Blaze, again, recipient here against their press, but he was terrific again, and we have to have him, especially when Derek wasn't in the lineup. Derek got in foul trouble against Boston College, and I thought Blaze was great.
Blaze ended up with 14 points, 10 rebounds in the game. You had 17 assists as a team. Again, good equal scoring. You had 4 guys in double figures in the win, 82-58 over the Golden Lions. And now at this point, you're 3-1 and got a little confidence.
Yeah, it was a tough game. We knew that, bouncing back from a really tough one at St. John's, where things really unraveled in the second half for us. But guys bounced back. They showed great resiliency. They had a couple good days of prep after getting back at about 3 in the morning from New York, and took care of business in this one.
All right, 82-58 the final. The Huskers beat Pine Bluff out of Arkansas. We're going to speed ahead in the next segment to the tournament in Orlando, the final game against Florida State. We'll have shows the action of that coming up next. We are back at the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. Nebraska went to Orlando for the ESPN Events Tournament last weekend over Thanksgiving. And in the final game, you had a chance to face a really good program in Florida State out of the ACC in your second game back with Derek Walker.
Yeah, really long physical team. You see Derek going right at their 7'4" center, and great job using his body, shielding the defender and going with the up and under in the reverse. And, Casey, really good take here. I love the attack of the slot. They really tried to get on top of us and take away the middle of the floor. Casey calling his own little number here on an ISO, but, he had it rolling, and it's just the kind of confidence that he's playing with right now. I just love the passion that this kid plays with every second that he's on the floor. He just loves to play, loves to compete. But yeah, again, it was really not a great shooting night for Casey. He did most of his damage by getting into the paint and finishing over longer players. Great play here by Sam. This was a big emphasis. We show our guys an offensive edit every game, what has hurt them, and we really thought we'd expose them in the corners. They really helped off that. They swarmed the ball, and our guys did a great job of finding the corner guy. A lot of times that was CJ. Great defense by Derek, trapping the pick and roll on the side of the floor, and good anticipation by Juwan. But this was the formula right here all night long, Greg. We just got it to Derek in the middle of the floor and then really tried to cut him. And you take their big away from the basket. Great play by Juwan, coming to a jump stop, playing under control, and hitting Derek on the roll.
Derek goes for 20 and 13. Sam had a tough tournament until this game and really kind of got it going.
He did, yeah. He hit 2 big threes. This was the first of the 2. Ended up being a 4-point play, and great ball movement, good extra pass there by CJ. And that's what we talked to Sam about. He has to shoot. Even if it's not going in, teams have to see him as a threat. Here's the second one. I think this was a 11 or 13-0 run that we had, and Sam scored 7 of those on 2 shots.
You ended up shooting 50% for the game, and a lot of this because you were getting great shots at the rim.
Well, we got great shots at the rim. We also had great shots in the perimeter that we just didn't knock down. We had a couple absolutely wide open shots that we just didn't make. So I thought, our movement, a great slash by Juwan. He had 3 of those in this game where he cut on the drive and those are big plays for him. When you're not hitting shots from the perimeter, if you can get another one here, when we drive that outside, we really want to slash the baseline guys. So good reads by Juwan, and again, getting us some very much needed plays at the rim.
Huskers win by 17 going away, shoot 50% for the game. You out-rebound a really big Florida State team by 4. And again, that's a source of pride to win the battle of the backboards.
Yeah, I think that's, when you look at the BC game, that's 4 in a row now that we've won on the glass. And guys have just really been committed. They're doing a great job blocking out. You know, we talked about the length across the board with this team. Sam at the point is a very good rebounder. Juwan does a lot of really good things on both ends with his rebounding. And then, again, getting Derek back, he and Blaze are pretty solid there at the 5 spot.
Good way to finish a long road trip and fly back late at night for the Huskers, 75-58 over Florida State. We're back to check out the action from the Big Ten ACC Challenge game against Boston College. That is coming up next. Welcome back to the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. After winning against Florida State on Sunday, another ACC team in the midweek, Big Ten ACC Challenge, the last year for this. Here came Boston College to town, and I thought the atmosphere was really good at PBA.
Awesome. Yeah, especially late games on a school night, you know, to get that crowd, the energy, and you know, start off the game with a lob here for Emmanuel, really set the tone for this game. Great job by Juwan staying vertical. You have to jump in that restricted arc, and did a really good job there late in the clock. Again, Blaze with Derek in foul trouble, I thought was terrific. And just, you know, really used his physicality, made a couple great plays. You saw the pass there to Juwan and took 2 charges when we got beat to the middle of the floor, which we don't want to do. But Blaze is back there erasing those mistakes. And good job here with the dribble handoff, getting Juwan downhill. So, you know, I thought overall, you know, just had great effort, great play here. Casey, again, with the way teams are playing, chasing him, he's going to have those opportunities if he keeps his movement, which he's done a great job of here early in the season.
He really took this thing over for a while.
He did. Here's that roller place action again for Casey. You know, and again, his energy, passion, that just, you know, sets the tone for us. It gets the crowd into it. They love when he's out there making plays. But he really opened up his bag of tricks, Greg. I mean, not only was it threes, but it was floaters and, you know, getting in there high off the square. Again, that's all due to Blaze. His work, his ethic, his work. You know, going in there in the glass and kicking out when he's in a crowd.
This is the benefit for Blaze of playing a lot in Derek's absence.
No doubt. And he had to, you know, he had some really great moments, and he also had some learning opportunities. Emmanuel really worked on his shot. He had a disappointing last game shooting the ball against Florida State. Got in the gym. We had a couple extra sessions, and it was good to see him knocking down some threes.
So a fairly close game at the half. I love the way once you got on top of them, you didn't let them up. You kept kind of putting the pedal to the metal in this game.
Here was the key, I thought, was that last media timeout in the first half. They had I think it was a 5-point lead on us, and we go into the break up 3. So that was a huge stretch. And then we came out in the second half and just went on, I think, a 29-9 run in about the first 12 minutes, including these back-to-back threes by Casey.
Yeah, he ends up with 23 for the game. You shoot over 60% against an ACC team. That is just a tremendous night on the offensive end.
Yeah, and I think almost 70 in the second half, and just really got the ball to the right guy. Went to a little zone here, great screen in by Derek, and CJ got it going. It was good to see him knock down some shots there in the second half. Again, you see Derek, his impact with a cut, with him taking the big away from the basket with the open lane and cutting and getting to the basket because of that.
88-67, the final score. The Huskers get it done over BC. Again, look at the shooting percentage of 61.5%. You out-rebound this team, 21 assists in this game.
Yeah, just, you know, our guys are playing very unselfish basketball, and you know, I think that's 3 games in a row now with high assist numbers, and you know, high percentage of our baskets are assisted, and that's a great sign. And again, a lot of that's Derek. I know I keep going back to that, but that's how important he is to this team.
A lot of fun to watch that one on Wednesday night. We're back with some more thoughts from the coach coming up next.
The ball up in the air, and the tap is controlled by the Boston College Eagles. Here's a lob play. Oh, high in the air is Vanderbilt on a perfectly delivered lob. Popping up to catch it is Tominaga, and he hits the 3. Tominaga with Nebraska's first 3 of the game. Another offensive board. The kick out to Tominaga, the 3. Got it! Bang! Harang! Casey Tominaga. Pass deep left corner, Juwan Gary got the 3 ball. Big, huge 3 by Juwan there. Cada, the pick and roll. Vanderbilt puts it on the 4, right lane line. Kick out left side, Griesel. Griesel spins with the left-hand finish. Nebraska 88, Boston College 67.
Those were our Hy-Vee sounds of the game. Now it's league play for a couple games here in early December and a tough one at Assembly Hall.
Yeah, they're not doing a lot of favors here these, with the 2 December games where you go at Indiana and then follow that up with a game against number 5 Purdue at home. It's a really tough stretch that we're in right now, but that's going to be the rest of the year for us. Then we play one game before the break with Queens College, who's a really good team, and then we follow that up with Iowa with the beginning of the other 18 league games that we're going to play. So yeah, just got to take it one at a time, Greg. And we know it's going to be tough at Assembly Hall. It's going to be loud. They had a sellout. People were camping out in that game against Carolina, which they knocked off in their last game in the challenge. And we're going to have to go out and just play with great effort. And this team will do that. I'm confident every time this team steps on the floor, they're going to compete at a high level. And that's all we're asking of them. And hopefully we execute well enough to have a chance.
All right, have a good week.
Thank you.
We're back next week to check out the action from those games. That's coming up next week. My thanks to the entire Husker Vision crew and to you for watching. We'll see you again here next week.